This is the Who Are They podcast. I'm D2 Nice.
This is Tiggy Maximus here in the flesh.
And we're here to break down UFC 276 being held in Las Vegas of all places. So, with that being said,
It's fight night.
let's go.
So getting into the fights, we're just going to jump right in. We're going to start with Brad Tavares versus Drickus du Plessis. Any thoughts on that fight? Anything that stands out to you?
This is going to be a close fight, and the odds are pretty close to each other. I feel that du Plessis actually might pull out the victory in this one, but I have a feeling it's going to go all 15 minutes.
Okay, all right. It's interesting. Both guys are coming off of a win. It's interesting to see where Brad Tavares, how far he's fallen, coming from fighting Izzy, in Izzy's beginnings to really kind of working his way back through the prelims. Again, both of these men are coming off wins. I think that Brad Tavares is a dangerous fighter. Drickus is obviously a dangerous fighter, which is why he's coming into the UFC and fighting dangerous guys like Brad. With that being said, this fight, I think it heavily favors du Plessis. To see how low down Brad Tavares is on the fight card is kind of sad in my eyes, because I do feel like he is a brilliant fighter. There's just some work that needs to be done. This is a fight for a reason, I believe. I believe that this is kind of the test of time for Brad, and I think that this is maybe a stepping stone for Mr. du Plessis. I got du Plessis to win.
Here is Macie Barber versus Jessica Eye. How do you feel about that fight?
I think it should be exciting. I think this is one of those fights where Macie Barber is such a power puncher. She's that little beast that makes it exciting, because a punch can come out of anywhere that can land just right and really hurt an opponent. I think that Jessica Eye is very dangerous both on the feet and on the ground. I just think that this might be the cub being thrown to the wolf, Jessica being the cub, Macie Barber being the wolf. Now, this is going to be a big one for Jessica because she is coming off a loss. I think that Macie is going to be a very tough, dangerous opponent for her.
I feel that Macie Barber she's improving her fight game, and ever since her loss to Roxanne Modafferi, she has stepped up her game a little bit, and you can see it in each fight afterwards. So, as much as I like Jessica Eye here, she will provide a tough test. It might actually go to 15 minutes, but I have a feeling that Macie Barber might just still work on her jab, and that jab might win her all the points she needs for that fight to win.
Now, I will say this, with Jessica Eye being a dangerous opponent, I still believe that she has a lot of ability, but this is Macie's fight to win. I think that the power's there, and I believe that she might ink this one out. Next up on the Who Are They podcast has got to be Uriah Hall versus Andre Muniz. Tell me your thoughts on this one, man.
Ooh-wee. This one is going to be an explosive fight. I feel that Muniz is going to win this fight. He's going to attack Uriah Hall on the feet. He's going to attack him also on the ground. And I still feel that Uriah Hall, he has still kind of a limited skill set, but he has a lot of power. He broke someone's leg. But I feel that Andre Muniz will just kind of maul him for a good 15 minutes, and he'll win on points against Uriah Hall.
Now, I do want to make what I believe is a slight correction there. I don't know if it was his power that broke the leg, more so than it was his ability to check the leg kick that actually broke the leg. But I mean, you're not wrong. He's a powerful dude who at times can be very exciting because of the danger he puts his opponents in. You got the Jamaican versus the Brazilian. With most things as far as fight dynamic, height, weight, length being the same, I think I'm going to favor Andre in this fight. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be fun. It'll definitely be one of those barnstormer fights. But I just think I got to go with Andre because the one thing that scares me the most about Uriah in most fights is just how inconsistent that he can be. And with that being said, I think he's an exciting fighter, but we just need to see a little bit more consistency on his part in order to give him that nod.
I agree. Should be a fun fight.
Munoz for the win. Jim Miller versus Donald the Cowboy Cerrone. Everyone's favorite fighter. Who do you have? What do you have? What's going on in this fight?
You do have a couple old timers in this fight. A lot of fan favorites. I have a feeling that Donald Cerrone might actually pull out a victory in this one, and he's due for a victory here. I feel bad for him because he's had so many fight cancellations lately, and you know what? He might get behind the crowd here, and he might actually KO Jim Miller tonight.
Yeah, I feel like Donald Cerrone is still the exciting guy because of all the, I don't want to use the word stigma, but all of the legend that is the cowboy, right? And I do believe that Donald may win this, especially for the fact that they're now fighting at 170. I do think that he has a slightly longer reach advantage on Jim Miller, but this could really be anyone's game. The real question is Donald really game for being in the octagon still to this day? I believe that he's always game for something exciting and new. But I'm gonna go with Donald. I hope that he doesn't disappoint us on this. I think he's still got a lot left in the tank, and we're gonna find that out.
We have a great fight in the main card. We got Robbie Lawler and Brian Barberena. What do you think of that fight?
Man, this is again the test of time type of fight when it comes to Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barberena. Brian is such an exciting fighter with just a head of stone. It is amazing to see how tough that man is. Now, with that being said, you can't go back that far in a Robbie Lawler fight and say, hey, no, he's not as tough. But the question is, with age, with all the fights he's had, has he slowed a step? Has the power that's in those hands of stone, are they just not as hard? And I think that this is going to be a real test. Now, with that being said, I think that this is more in Robbie's favor. I think the one thing about Brian Barberena is he loves a good scrap, and I think that Robbie might just have a little too much power for him. We'll see if that's the case. I got Robbie for the win. What do you think?
I have a feeling that Brian Barberena might actually pull out the victory in this one. It'll probably go the entire 15 minutes. And honestly, I don't know how long Robbie Lawler has been fighting, but it seems like it's been forever. I mean, he was in the first UFC fight that was on television with Nick Diaz. That was like back in like the 90s or something, or the early 2000s. And I have a feeling that Robbie Lawler, as great as he is, he has lost a lot of his intensity. I feel he's a little more timid and cautious. So I have a feeling that Brian's just going to, eke this one out.
Yeah? You don't think he's going to walk through him, huh? It's going to be a tough fight all the way to the end, huh?
Tough fight to the end. You might see some flashes from Robbie Lawler, but I have a feeling that Barberena is just going to win this purely on points.
I'd like to say that Robbie Lawler has literally been fighting since the Trojans and the Spartans.
Probably. Actually, I actually would believe you on that.
So you've got Brian, Mr. Barberena.
I got Brian.
I'm going to still keep it in the Lawler corner. And for the fight you've all been waiting for, well, at least one of the two fights that you've all been waiting for. This one I'm going to chalk up to the Battle of the Kings. You have Alexander Volkanovski, who's 24-1, versus Max Holloway, who's 23-6. I mean, these are two of the most high-level UFC fighters, two of the most high-level mixed martial artists, two of the most brilliant fighters to actually grace the octagon. They've done it before twice, and now they're going to do it again. What are your thoughts about Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway?
This is the third fight in the trilogy. It's going to be an explosive fight, a lot of fast-paced action. I still feel that Alexander Volkanovski is going to win this one by points again, and it will definitely go all 5 rounds.
You know, you're hurting my feelings, man. I just the fact that you're counting out Max so easily. You know, it's I feel it's disrespectful, it's hurtful, it's demeaning. I could go on all day if I had my Webster's dictionary with me, but I'll put it to you like this. I think that there are 2 fights in our future. I think there's Saturday, and I honestly do believe that Max finds a way to ink this out. I believe that there will be one more fight, which, again, this might be the first time in history that you see 5 fights from 2 guys. I think if you get Alex, who's 1-2, and then Max pulls this out, and then you say, okay, well, now you got to do another one because, again, Alex has got 2, Max has got 1. So what do they do there? And then let's just say Max wins that one. And I get it. We're getting into hypotheticals, the who are theys of it all. But let's be honest. Let's just say that that's a possibility because it is a high possibility. And then you still have to have that tiebreaker, which is 5 fights in the UFC between 2 of the greatest fighters to even grace the octagon at no matter what weight class. Now, again, with all the disrespect that you just spouted, what do you see that Alex brings to the table that completely disintegrates what Max is able to do inside the octagon and has been able to do over the last few fights?
I feel that Volkanovski, he does have power in his hands, and he can keep a pace like that for a good bit of the 25 minutes that they're going to have here. I'm not worried about his cardio. I'm not worried about his strength at all. And the fact that he can tag Max Holloway. And with Max Holloway, I feel that he's taken a lot of damage in recent fights, actually, especially in the Yair Rodriguez fight. What do you think?
I think that taking damage is something that fighters do. I don't know if he took so much damage that I feel like this is something that you're worried about the performance of the fighter later down the road. This isn't a Tony Ferguson situation. And again, no disrespect to Tony, but after fights and wars like he's had with Justin Gaethje, it goes to say that there is sometimes it's just a fighter's never the same. Sometimes it takes a while for them to get back to that fighting shape that they were originally in before. I don't know if he's taken that kind of damage to worry about exactly that yet. I don't think that Rodriguez put in that much work that he's going to be four beats behind where he was, or even 5 beats behind Alexander. Now, I'll say something. Alexander is a guy with many tools in the toolbox. I feel like he has the ability to get on the inside. He has shown the ability to do just that against Max. But I think this is going to be a fight of a different proportion. I specifically believe that you'll see a more emotional fight. Now, this is a personal belief, but what I mean in that is I believe Alexander probably will fight a little bit more emotional, possibly with the thought that I've already seen this guy twice, and that can lead to a few different things. Maybe he fights a little bit more lax because he's like, I've seen what you bring to the table. Maybe he fights a little bit more aggressive. because he's like, man, I need to get this guy out of here. I've already seen him twice, and now I'm seeing him for the third time. I'm kind of tired of it. And these kind of things are exterior images and ideas that start to invade the mind, and if your mind isn't strong, can cause you to fade. Because again, you're thinking, why am I seeing this person for a third time? Or you're thinking, I've seen everything you have to offer. I've already done it. This should be a walk in the park. And I don't think Max will be that way. Now, on the other hand, we have Max, who probably has felt that he was robbed 2 times in a row. His belt was taken. And the emotional aspect could be that he's like, man, I've lost to this guy twice, and I need to bring something different. It may cause him to act a little out of character. But as we've seen in the Calvin Kattar fight, he's the best boxer in the UFC. The question is, will he utilize his boxing principles and take back that belt? Is that belt coming back to the U.S.? Is it going back to Hawaii where it belongs? That question should be answered soon.